Shalom, shalom. Kal halalim la abanawi Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Thawab Bawakar, Shalom Bawakar. In English, good morning. And double honors to the men of the Lord. Double honors to the apostles, bishops of Great Millstone. And shalom to the prophets of Great Millstone and affiliate camps who give double honors to our elders of Great Millstone, who are the men of the Lord and the spiritual teachers who are sanctioned by Abanawa Yahweh Eloheinu wa Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Rakak Wadash to teach this truth. Shalom. One of the prophets, I believe it was Azan Amath, from if I'm correct, definitely one of the prophets of the body, um, uh, sent this post the last 24 hours. I don't know how real this is because I looked at this carefully on Instagram. Not that I'm an Instagram follower, but I just clicked on the link here, and it didn't look too real. Maybe it is. I don't know. Okay, because these youngsters these days will do anything for clout and fame. But there are individuals out there that do things like this and look like this, because there's angels on the right hand side and there's angels on the left hand side, and the evil angels on the left hand side. And if he has actually done this, right, it's an evil angel who probably looks like this, said to him, I'm with you, make yourself look like me. And if he did actually do this, he's probably looking like the demon that's on him, manifesting the demon. That's why you see a lot of people like with those prosthetic, those horns, they tattoo their eyeballs black and red or yellow. Actually, you know what? Let's just Google a few pictures. People with is it prosthetic? No, is it prosthetics? Prosthetics and tattooed. They spell tattooed eyeballs. Yeah, stuff like that. Excuse me. Okay, look at this. You tell me that's normal? Putting them horns and bumps inside your body, and you're paying like crazy amount of money for this. Look at this. You tell me that these aren't demons manifesting in people? That's not a demon. These demons manifest themselves on these people to make them look like they're demons that are actually on them. And they've got the Baphomet here, all over the forehead. So when an actual demon manifests in the spirit, it probably looks like that. Probably more gruesome as well. Look at this MFR. Look at that. Okay? So there's seducing spirits out there. For example, I was watching a live of Apostle Rakar where, he's talking about seducing spirits of like certain members even that were part of the camps that are actually Mo's right now, where they got seduced, where spirit, evil angel jumps on them and tells them, oh, yeah, you got to be with the same gender. You got to be with the same gender. They're a man and they're looking at another man the way a man's supposed to look at a woman, which is a disgusting, foul spirit, man. Because a lot of these people that have done these things, right? For example, they're either a Mo or they're a sodomite and they have their rod cut off or whatever. Women have their breasts removed and take testosterone. As soon as they do the procedure, the demons leave. And once the demons leave, they look in the mirror thinking, what the hell have they done? And for some of them, it happens instantly. And for some of them, it happens, a short while after. They're in depression. They live by the flesh. A lot of these are heathens, of course, so they don't have the name of the Lord with them, and the Lord ain't with them anyway. So they call upon who their power is, who they assume their power is, which is Satan. You know, look at this guy with a split tongue. This looks like a northern kingdom. Northern kingdom Jake starting to that Santeria. Could be wrong. It looks like a Latin Jake. I wouldn't even call this guy a Jake. A demon, man. No wonder the Lord messed up the northern kingdom so heavy as well. These dumb ninjas, look what they're doing. Look at this geezer, man. God damn. You telling me that ain't a demon that's manifested on this person? Evil. And what about this one? Look at this person. This person, right, actually had implants put in his chest. If you see this image here, to look like a cat or a lion. Because if you look at a cat when it's on its all fours, there's a sort of like a bit of a hump at the front. So this man is supposed to be a man, right? Put implants there as well. So it's basically walking around like Baphomet, basically. You know, he's dead and gone now. He's passed away. You know, lived alone as a recluse. In uh, some kind of wooden hut or whatever on his own. You know, and now lived as a recluse, and now he's yeah, okay. Obviously, he deleted himself. Suicide. Because those demons leave. So it's a scary, scary world, man. All right, let's just go into that Instagram post. Gives you sort of more of a. Yeah. I mean, whether that's real or not, I mean, why would you. See, that's how evil these spirits are. Look, if you look like a regular Jake, right? The Lord bless you with nice brown skin, good head of hair, right? And this clown wants to look like that. Whether this is just something just to get some views or whatever. I mean, these kids today are crazy, man. And if he's actually done this, that's just a demon manifesting on this person. You know, this shows how crazy this world is, how strong these demons are, because this is Satan's world. Yeah, this is Satan's world. That's why being righteous in an evil society is hard. That's why a lot of people give up a righteous path, and they say, if you can't beat him, join him. You know, because if you remember when you were part of this world, well, to a certain degree, you'd smoke weed, smoke cigarettes, which I did. Obviously, my foolishness, not knowing. You'd eat bacon. Um, you do what else? You'd probably go unknowingly with a woman that may have had a man, or that may have had a man, but she was dating him for a short while, and then she may start dating you. Not knowing that, okay, they're not, she's not serious with him. I'm gonna take her anyway. For example, things like that, unknowingly. And then you come on the truth, and you know that that's wrong. You know, you want to go for a woman, you go for a single woman. So when you sort of say things like that to people as well, why are you going for a married woman? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? They look at you like you're crazy. You know. So all these things come into play in this evil world, man. And this is just people being seduced by evil spirits to be a sodomite, to be a dyke, to be you got some of these heathens, even some Jake, that have done things with animals, which is disgusting. You know, and also then you got demons manifesting on people that want to do you know things like that. Look at that. I mean, it looks like a semi-attractive woman, you know but got face covered in tattoos. You see a lot of girls that are young, attractive, with nice shapes, and they've got their legs tattooed up and they've got their faces tattooed, and it's not even necessary. Look at this crazy so and so, man. Look at that. That's madness. You know, there's a movie that came out in the '60s. It's a mad, mad, mad world, and it definitely is. It's definitely a mad, mad, mad world. Okay, let's go to some scriptures. So, like I'm speaking low, it's about 6:13 in the morning, in the AM. A dark grey day outside. You know, that's where London is most of the time. Very seldom we get sunshine. You know? But anyway, First Timothy's 4:1. Now the Spirit, now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. You know, like a lot of Jake that pursuant to Romans 10:2 have some kind of most Jakes have a connection to the Most High, whether they follow in the correct way or not. And then you got a lot of, like, as Elder Apostle Ricard said it, that there were some Jakes, right, that were part of certain camps, right, that left the camps or they got kicked out because they became Moes, sodomites. So now the spirit, and then you got some Jakes that are in this world, like for example, like that rapper, that got seduced by spirits, whether he was, uh, you know, obviously he's spiritually departed from the faith because he's an Israelite. So if he was never in the truth, so he got seduced by spirits, evil spirits. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. And they do follow doctrines of devils. Look at these Jakes today, man, talking about deleting each other and smoking weed, and you got dumbasses, like back in the day, like Big Pun and Fat Joe talking about Trisney, which I don't know, is it Trisney? Something like that. Running a three-way or running, basically running a train on a woman, you know, and a lot of Jakes, like Snoop Dogg. It ain't fun if the homies can't have none. Those are doctrines of devils, you know. Jakes getting upside down crosses tattooed on their face, on their neck, you know. You got ninjas like what's that guy's name, man? Uh, Trick Daddy Dollars has got that cooking show, right? Every time he does a show, I watched one of them. That one was okay, where he was cooking steak. That was cool. Hopefully he cooked it. I didn't watch all of it, but he was cooking steak. I watched maybe the first 5 minutes of it. And there's one with nori on it, you know, a silly dove, and he was, because Ephraim is a silly dove, right? Uh, yeah, he was cooking catfish, uh, maggots, prawns, and all that kind of stuff. It's like these Jakes know they're Israelites. They know they're Israelites, man, and they've heard the truth, but they still gravitate towards that, those so-called evil foods, slave foods, and they wonder why they have all these issues and they look the way they do. Because if you look at it, even eating unclean foods, some of these Jakes start looking like the unclean foods. They start looking like, they eat catfish. They start looking like a catfish. They eat prawns and maggots and things. I don't know, what do you call them? Yeah, prawns is maggots. They start eating lobster and crab. They start looking like a lobster and crab. You know, those demons manifest on them. And eating unclean foods is being seduced by evil spirits, man, and doctrines of devils. And devil means deceiver. So they get seduced by the doctrines of the evil people and devils of this world. You know, like these churches, come as you are, and the fish fry, and or we're having pork chops downstairs. Stay till the end of the service, and you know, and then you stay there thinking, you hearing you feel good show like in the movie The Blues Brothers. Everyone's dancing and hollering and hopping and dancing around, and you know, then they got like food to look forward to. So it's basically just a big party, you know. And what did Halbashim Yashai say? That he doesn't dwell in paraphrasing scripture here, in temples or build, or say in temples made with hands, you know. Because what did the Lord say? That, heaven is his throne, earth is his footstool. You know, so the Lord doesn't dwell in buildings, man. You know. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, like these clowns that we just viewed, and this and different uh, uh, things I just mentioned, speaking lies, okay, in hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. They have their conscience seared in hot iron. You know, you see some of these jakes like 6'2", 6'3", swole, and they're a bunch of sodomites. When they can get any woman they want, right? But they don't want that, and that's being seduced by evil spirits. You know, and then you got these beautiful women get seduced by evil spirits. They want to be in each other, lapping it up, licking each other's carpets. And then you got these, some jakes, getting these prosthetics and these eyeball tattoos and stuff done. And the doctrines of devils. You know, uh, Esau, the doctrines of devils, it's the shit that he'll spew. You know, in their school system, in their universities, in their colleges, day to day life, on the news media, on comedy channels, in movies, in the so called church, in the wacky tacky Christian church. So they have their conscience seared, man, with a hot iron. Meaning, like, it's like, like you put like a brand, yeah, like when you see a brand, like when they see when they how they brand horses or how they branded Jake, tss, on the skin. That's how these evils are seared in their head, man, in their conscience with a hot iron, and they can't get out of it. Okay, some do get out of it, but a lot of Jakes that get out of it. For example, you might smoke or drink. Not drinking is lawful. I mean, you might smoke weed or smoke whatever. You might have dealt with a woman that was taken. The Lord gets you out of it before it gets too serious, because it wasn't meant for you to go that far in it. But those Jakes, right? I don't care about the heathen. Forget the heathen. They're animals anyway. Okay, they're goyim anyway. If that's the correct way of saying it, they're animals anyway. The cattle, but Jake, that do these prosthetics and that are sodomites, and or are women that are dykes, you know, and that are so heavily engrossed in it, and do like Northern Kingdom do a lot of Santeria and Blue Haria and all that kind of stuff, and you got a lot of read horoscopes and get their hands read and all that kind of shit, believe in horoscopes, and you got a lot of Jake doing satanic shit, just to get ahead in this world. Their conscience is seared with a hot iron, man, and they're seduced by these evil spirits. You know, like, like we do the Lord's Prayer, Adwan Ratazar, every morning, and as many times as we can during the day. Because in this evil world, man, every step you take, sometimes you get like fear in your heart. Whatever it could be. Because we're not rich. Sometimes, you might need to buy a car, or whatever. You're thinking, Lord, winning this car is okay. It's not a lemon. You know, uh, all these things, you might need to move to another apartment or whatever, or another home to rent. You want to make sure the Lord willing that apartment's okay. So you pray, man. You know, and sometimes you might go through a few things, and they might be small or even large, but the Lord gives you the blessing and the power and the finances, to get through it, so you're okay. And in the end, once you come out of that situation, you've gone through that little small bit of tribulation, and the Lord's kept you afloat, kept your head above water, kept you covered with His wings, right? And your good money, yeah. That's why we do the Lord's Prayer, okay? Now, do you think these done Jakes do the Lord's Prayer, right? What does it say here? Uh, Verse 13, and lead us not into temptation, okay? Being a mole, a dyke, getting prosthetics done, eating unclean foods, smoking weed, getting tattoos done, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Do you think these guys pray? Okay, I'm talking about Jake. Okay, but deliver us from evil. They actually jump right into evil. They jump right into evil. Like it's a mountain of chocolate. They just want to just dive right in and just devour it. You know, all right. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Okay, I'm just going to read it because it's with the Lord's Prayer here. I'm going to read it. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Abba Noah Yahweh Hashem Yashai, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, because we live day to day and we don't worry about tomorrow. Lord willing, we get through that day because anything can happen. And as long as the Lord gives us our food and drink, and we've got a roof over our head and raiment, Adwan Ratazar daily, and all our problems are resolved. We don't care about being rich in this world, man. Nothing wrong with having money and wealth as long as you lawfully earn it, but that's not the be all and the end all. Okay? The be all and the end all is to get in the kingdom. King Solomon had everything. Okay, but he said it's all vanity. Okay, because he wanted the kingdom. So give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Okay, and that's referring from to Jake. Okay, within Jake communities, not to heathens. All right, and forgive us our debts and as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation. Okay, the core part I'm talking about. Right, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Okay. I don't, for example, a temptation for, especially for a normal man, a Jake man, is a beautiful woman, thick, curvy, beautiful, feminine. You know, that big booty bouncing around on that long dress, voluptuous breasts, tight frame, long hair, big eyes like doves, full lips, a nice tan complexion or whatever race she is. Yeah. But she's married and she comes on too heavy, you know? That's gonna be a hard one for a lot of Jake to walk away from. But a lot of Jakes have been caught up in that. How many Jakes have walked into that temptation, dealing with a married woman, and what comes from behind? Her husband walks in the house. He's got secret cameras everywhere because he's been suspecting his wife. And what happens? He pulls out the juk, he pulls out that blade, or he pulls out that hammer. And then lo and behold, that woman is deleted. And sometimes the man who's doing it is deleted. I was watching a video a while back. Uh, is it Elder Ramaya? Is it Ramaya? Ramaya, I think it is. Salaki, if I pronounce the name wrong. The brother with the afro in the GMS London camp. He was talking about a Jake that was possibly in the camp. Please forgive me if the information is correct. This is a while back. I watched it. He said that he was in the camp and he was not him. He was talking about a Jake was in the camp, right? Or maybe he knew of a Jake, right, that was dealing with a married woman, right? And then that woman's husband came home, and then Jake, who was dealing with a married woman, right, while he was doing his business, the woman's husband or boyfriend came home, but boyfriend still husband because you're dealing with a woman, right? He came home and then he basically had a blade and he juked the other guy dealing with his woman in the backside in his buttocks while he was humping and pumping his woman, you know? So these kind of things go on, man, you know? So you might fall into that trap and lo and behold, you get deleted for that few minutes of pleasure. You gotta be very careful, man. But ultimately, the Lord, if the Lord has got that covering over you, you're gonna be okay. If not, you're just gonna fall into that temptation, and the Lord is not gonna deliver you from the evil, and you're just gonna get dealt with hardcore, man. You know. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. You know. That's why you got a lot of Jakes that are on the evil side, man. You got a lot of Northern Kingdom, a lot of Levites, the so-called Haitians, and Haiti means hell, right? And it's hell over there right now. Because the Levites, like Moses, was a Levite, right? And the Levites are the priests, right? And then you got Northern Kingdom that are spiritual also, but they got that zeal, right? But it's not according to knowledge. Hence the reason why they dive into what's it called, the Day of the Dead. Uh, they Blue Haria and Santeria and calling on different spirits to help them in different situations. If a woman wants her husband, or she's in love with a guy and she's not too attractive, and the guy is not really into her and she wants him, so she'll probably grab a bit of his hair or whatever, do some kind of so-called magic ritual, and try and get the guy. You know, so they have a zeal of spiritual things, right? Okay, or some have, and then you got other jakes that have a zeal for God, right? But they believe in Caesar Borgia, and they don't believe that the Messiah looks a specific way, pursuant to Revelation 1:14 onwards, or the way the Most High looks out, our Father in heaven, pursuant to Daniel 7 verse 9. They don't believe that. They believe in, the iconoclasm and what Esau has spewed, okay, since the Renaissance. Okay, and they believe in Christmas and they believe in Halloween and all that shit. Okay, so they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. And the knowledge is what? Okay, like in Psalm, is it Psalm 23? Thy rod and thy staff comforts me. What's that rod and thy staff? The rod and the staff is in Psalm 23 is the scriptures. It's Yahweh Shai. It's the knowledge of Yahweh Shai, the scriptures, man, and the Holy Spirit. But they don't have it according to knowledge, which is the truth. You know, what the, Daniel 12:2, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. Like you have a huge awakening round, right? But you got a lot of teachers that were in the truth also that have walked away, and they have been put to shame, and they were just used as to wake up the rest of the elect. You know, okay, and then you got some that will have everlasting contempt. You got a lot of camps that are used as stumbling blocks to capture the 2/3 and put them in their flock so they can get deleted. Okay, pursuant to Zechariah 13:8. But then you also got some that are sleeping, that are waking. How are they waking? And they're going to get everlasting life through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yashai, because the men of the Lord, the men of Great Millstone and affiliate camps who teach the 100% truth, you know, right? They're waking to everlasting life. And they don't watch other camps to get edified. They watch Great Millstone. You might watch other camp here and there just to see if there's anything specific or some kind of interesting topic, so you can sort of like see the differences in doctrine, but what you watch all the time is the men of Great Millstone and affiliate camps. Okay, Daniel 12:2 again. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Like Nate Satan, or Bishop General Satan, Nate Bishop General Nathaniel. He's using his Hebrew name, but he calls on Caesar Borgia. Okay, they wear the fringes, but they, calling on Jesus, when that was there's a calling on Caesar. You know, going on Essence magazine, throwing up the Baphomet. You know, now he's looking like like he's looking like a crackhead, a heroin addict. He must have lost what, 30 pounds or something. You know, he was always a slim guy from what I could tell from his old pictures, but he's got like like real like looking like a vampire. Looking like a so-called black vampire. Or as the elder Apostle Rakaya Allah would say, looking like the crypt keeper. you know, $150 million on Essence magazine. Talking about giving your tithes and all that kind of stuff. That they don't want to buy Bentleys and Maseratis and all that kind of stuff, right? But he wants to buy a jet though, wasn't he? Wasn't he talking about buying a jet? And a lot of the congregation are comfortable. Okay, they're comfortable just being Israelites in Babylon. And those are the jakes that are going to get caught up into everlasting contempt. And other camps also that are pushing the juicy juice. And once the charagma comes out, they're going to be pushing that charagma as well. They're going to say, oh, you can take it. And the Lord ain't going to say nothing. You can just pull it out. No, you can't pull it out. Once it's in, it's in. So a lot of you jakes, man, are going to wake up, and some, going to wake up, are going to have everlasting contempt. Because some camps are there, like the men of the Lord, to wake jakes and Jake women and Jake children up. for everlasting life in the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai and Yahweh Hashem Yahshai sanctions, and Yahweh Hashem Yahshai sanction, and the others for everlasting shame and contempt. The evil camps have been set up to be stumbling blocks to capture you guys. Okay, right? And I'm gonna name them. IUIC, okay, are a stumbling block. ISUPK are a stumbling block. GOCC are a stumbling block. The Wacky Tacky Christian Church is a stumbling block. Islam is a stumbling block. Witchcraft is a stumbling block. Satanism is a stumbling block. Okay, but Barakati Yahweh Allahayna wa Bahasham Yahshai Bahasham Kakodash for his mercies and his tender mercies, right? Okay, that he's woken up a lot of Jake and Jake women and Jake children out there to everlasting life. And he's using his mouthpiece, the men of the Lord, man, men of Great Millstone and affiliate camps. Okay? Zechariah 13:8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahshai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. That's 66.6%. But the third shall be left therein. That's the 1/3, 33%. And Esau's been measuring the time. Esau's been saying that the time has sped up or cut short by 33%. And the Lord did say he's going to speed up the time for the elect's sake. And since the time was shortened by 33%, that's spiritual as well, isn't it? Therefore, a 24-hour day feels like 18, you know? And, a lot of Jakes have been seeing the number 666, especially in the last 2 years or so. And you know what that indicates? Even Elder Yashawamba said it, thinking, oh, what's going to happen now, and all that kind of thing. It's nothing to do with that, right? Because it's a number letting you know that the Charagma is coming in. The Lord is letting you know that the Charagma is around the corner. Now, if you're seeing the number 666, right, that means the Charagma is around the corner. Because as soon as you see it, you don't get scared. You think, Dwada Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, you're letting me know that the Charagma is around the corner and this kingdom is about to fall. Okay? And those people that are going to take the Charagma are the 2/3. That's 66.6%, as well as people that have just sold out to this world and that the Lord doesn't want anyway. Okay, and that's a lot of Jake that's going to get deleted, Then on the flip side, it's going to be a lot of fun in the kingdom because we're going to be having those children in the kingdom with our wives and concubines, our lesser wives, to bring back the 2/3 back, Zechariah 13:8. And also, those people that are gonna wake up to everlasting life, they're gonna be the 1/3, and the ones that are gonna have contempt and everlasting shame, they're gonna be part of the 2/3. Like those evil camps that have been set up to be stumbling blocks. That's the 2/3. They're gonna be caught up in that. Then you got the 1/3. Okay, they're gonna get everlasting life. You got the camps of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, the men of Great Millstone, who are spiritual teachers in this, and the mouthpiece of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai on this planet Earth. Right? Barakti Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. And that's the 1/3 shall be left therein. You're gonna see them get beamed up into the chariots. Let me look up if I see a chariot right now. Yep, I see one right now. It looks like a see-through bubble, a circle within a circle. During the day, sometimes you see a little flash. Yeah, man. The Lord says his chariots are 20,000 or even more. And the Lord is amongst them, like in Mount Sinai. Yeah, I see another one. There you go. And it's 6:37 in the morning. Yeah? And I'm not bragging. I'm just letting you know that Yahweh Hashem Yahshai is real. Okay? What's this one? Okay? You got people like that. That's just a little example. If these are Jake, that's everlasting contempt. And the heathen are going to get deleted anyway. Because these are most oh yeah, hey, that's a supposedly a Jake woman. She could be Edomite too. Her great granddaddy could be a cracker, Shit, her great granddaddy she could be supposedly from Jamaica, and her great granddaddy could be Elon, you know? Or she just could be just a Jake woman. Look at her. She's bugged out. I mean, some of these could be Jake. She could be Jake. He could be Jake. You just don't know who's who. But let's just assume right now that's the Edomite, that's the Edomite, the Edomites. You know, no, Lord don't care about them anyway because they're not our people. This is their lot. This is what they're meant to do, manifesting their demons. You know, I just wanted to make a I saw this post yesterday, and I just wanted to make a video on where's that bull guy gone? Yeah, this so-called person. Whether this is real or not, I've showed you real examples of people that actually get this stuff done, and that the Lord has, got these people seduced with evil spirits, as well as the moles of this world and the carpet lickers of this world and people that just do evil things of this world. The Lord has got them seduced by evil spirits, man. Because Esau says to them, "Nah, give in to your, you know, give in to your feelings." Like Alistair Crowley said, "Do thou." What was he saying? Let me see what he said. Uh, Alistair Crowley saying, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." Basically, do what the f you want. That's that. That's their law. Okay, so basically, there's no law. So do what you want. That's the whole of the law. So basically, meaning there's no law, there's no structure, there's no rules. That's why they do what they do. And you got Jake's following the same bullshit, and Esau's a filthy person or so-called person anyway. So that's their nature, and Jake wants to be like that. Even our people have surpassed, the heathen anyway. Anyway, that's it. Just wanted to touch on that. I pray in the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Shai. Whoever watches this, hope you're edified. And one more thing as well, watch the men of the Lord, the men of great millstone. You'll be greatly edified in the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Shai. Kal halalim la Yahweh Eloheinu b'Hashem Yahushai b'Hashem Rakak Kodash. Okay, Tawada, Tawada, Aman. Abanawa Yahweh Eloheinu b'Hashem Yahushai b'Hashem Rakak Kodash. Babkusha. Wa abad babal. Kwame Ashurala, Dawada, Damiyad, Dawab, Aman. Shalom.